shattered vows. The rain hammered against the glass as Victoria stared at the phone screen, her hands trembling. The message was short, brutal, undeniable. Unknown number, I think you should know what your husband has been up to. Check the hotel on 5th Avenue. Room 812. Her heart pounded so loudly she could hear it echoing in her ears. It had to be a mistake. A cruel prank. A misunderstanding. But something inside her whispered otherwise. Taking a deep breath, she grabbed her coat and stepped out into the cold night. Her driver glanced at her through the rearview mirror as she slid into the back seat. "Mrs. Sinclair, are you all right?" She forced a smile. "Just drive, please." As the city lights blurred past, her mind raced. She thought back to the late nights, the sudden business trips, the scent of unfamiliar perfume lingering on his shirts. She had ignored the signs for too long. Tonight, she was going to face the truth. The car pulled up outside the grand entrance of the Lexington Hotel. Its golden glow shimmered against the wet pavement, making the whole scene feel surreal. Victoria hesitated for a moment, gripping the handle of the car door, before exhaling sharply and stepping out. She walked through the lobby with steady steps, her heels clicking against the marble floor. The concierge nodded politely, completely unaware that her world was about to shatter. Her fingers trembled as she pressed the button for the elevator. As the doors slid shut, her reflection stared back at her, a woman who had everything yet suddenly had nothing. Ding! 8th floor. Victoria stepped out into the dimly lit hallway. Room 812 was just a few steps away. Her hands curled into fists. She had two choices. Walk away. Pretend she never saw the message. Live in ignorance. Open that door and face whatever truth was waiting for her. Her choice was made before she even realized it. Her knuckles rapped against the door. A few seconds of silence stretched into an eternity. Then, shuffling, a hushed voice, and finally, the door creaked open. There he stood. Ethan. His tie was loosened, his shirt slightly wrinkled. The color drained from his face the second he saw her. "Victoria?" His voice was hoarse, his eyes wide with something between shock and guilt. Victoria's gaze flickered past him. And there, sitting on the bed, wrapped in a silk robe, was Samantha. Her best friend. The air was sucked from her lungs, the pain hitting harder than she had expected. "Vicky, I can explain," Samantha blurted out, scrambling off the bed. Victoria just laughed, a hollow, bitter sound. "Explain? Oh, please, Sam, I'm dying to hear how you ended up half-dressed in my husband's hotel room." Ethan stepped forward, reaching for her, but she pulled back. "Victoria, just listen to me." She held up a hand. "Don't. Just don't." Her chest ached, her mind reeled, but she wouldn't break down. Not here. Not in front of them. She turned on her heel and walked away, ignoring the sound of Ethan calling her name. But as she stepped into the elevator, her sorrow turned into something else. Rage. They weren't getting away with this. Victoria didn't go home that night. Instead, she checked into a different hotel across town. Alone in her suite, she sat by the floor-to-ceiling window, staring at the city below. Her mind wasn't clouded with sadness anymore. No, sadness had been burned away. Now, there was only one thing left inside her. Cold. Calculated. Revenge. She poured herself a glass of whiskey, neat, just how Ethan liked it, and took a slow sip. If he thought she would cry herself to sleep, he didn't know her at all. She picked up her phone and dialed a number she hadn't used in a long time. "Hello?" A deep voice answered after 2 rings. "Lucas," she purred, running her fingers along the rim of her glass. "I need a favor." A low chuckle came through the line. Well, what kind of trouble are you in, sweetheart?" She smirked. "Not trouble. A business opportunity." Lucas Reed. Her ex. The man Ethan hated the most. The man who had once promised her the world before she chose stability over chaos. And now? chaos sounded beautiful. Meet me tomorrow. Noon. I'll send you the address, she said before hanging up. Victoria leaned back into the chair and exhaled. If Ethan wanted to play games, she'd make sure he lost everything. The next morning, Ethan sat in his office, his phone vibrating nonstop. He rubbed his temples before finally picking it up. Samantha, Ethan, we have a problem. A big one. His jaw clenched. What now? She hesitated before whispering, Victoria knows. A chill ran down his spine. He had spent the whole night trying to call her. She hadn't answered. No texts. No voicemails. Nothing. Now, as he refreshed his emails, his blood ran cold. Dear Mr. Sinclair, we regret to inform you that a significant number of shares in Sinclair Enterprises have been purchased by an outside investor. The new shareholder has requested an urgent meeting with the board. Ethan's breath caught in his throat as he scrolled down. The investor's name? Victoria Sinclair. Ethan's grip tightened around his phone. This wasn't possible. Victoria hated business. She had never been interested in his company. Yet, here she was, coming for everything. He stormed out of his office, ignoring his assistant's protests, and made his way to the boardroom. As he pushed open the heavy oak doors, his stomach twisted into a knot. Victoria was already there. She sat at the head of the table, legs crossed, a slow, knowing smile curling at the edges of her lips. She looked powerful. Untouchable. Good morning, darling, she said, tilting her head. Sleep well? Ethan clenched his fists. What the hell do you think you're doing? She chuckled, leaning forward. Oh, Ethan. I'm just taking what's mine. The other board members exchanged uneasy glances, sensing the tension crackling between them. Victoria placed a folder on the table and slid it toward him. Go ahead. Take a look. With a scowl, Ethan flipped it open, only for the color to drain from his face. Inside were records of his company's financial discrepancies. The offshore accounts. The shell corporations. The hidden money. All the secrets he thought no one would ever uncover. His heart pounded. Where did you get this? Victoria's smile didn't waver. Oh, darling, did you really think I spent 5 years as your wife doing nothing? Watching you lie to my face, gaslight me, cheat on me? No. I was watching. Learning. Preparing. Ethan slammed the folder shut, his jaw tight. What do you want? Victoria's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. Everything. Ethan felt the walls closing in. His entire empire, built on deception and control, was crumbling at the hands of the woman he thought he had broken. Victoria leaned back in her chair, crossing her legs with the grace of a queen watching a fallen king. You see, Ethan, she continued, twirling a pen between her fingers, I could have walked away. Could have let you live your pathetic little life, cheating and lying your way through it. But where's the fun in that? Ethan's jaw tightened. You think you can just take everything from me? Her lips curled into a smirk. Oh, darling. I already have. She gestured toward the large screen at the end of the boardroom. The moment the display lit up, Ethan's stomach dropped. Live news coverage. His name. His company. His secrets. Everything exposed. Breaking news, CEO Ethan Sinclair under investigation for financial fraud and embezzlement. Ethan's vision blurred. His hands turned to fists as the weight of his downfall pressed onto his chest. You set me up, he whispered. Victoria laughed, standing up from her chair. She smoothed out her dress, radiating nothing but poise and power. No, Ethan. You set yourself up. I just turned the lights on. The board members around the table stared at Ethan in horror. Some shook their heads. Others whispered amongst themselves. Then, the inevitable came. Mr. Sinclair, the board will be holding a vote on your removal as CEO. Ethan shot up. You can't do this. Victoria turned to him, stepping close, so close he could smell the soft vanilla scent he once loved. She looked into his eyes, and for a moment, just a moment, he saw it. Pity. Then it was gone. She leaned in, her voice barely above a whisper. I hope she was worth it. And with that, she walked away. As she stepped out of the boardroom, her phone buzzed. Lucas. She smiled, answering with a satisfied sigh. It's done. Lucas chuckled on the other end. Good girl. Where next? Victoria glanced at the city skyline. For the first time in years, she was free. Anywhere I want. The end.